Hello, this Missed Code video looking at Disney's modern animated shorts was sponsored by Chris over on Patreon. If you want to throw your support and possibly suggest some video ideas of your own, guaranteeing a spot on the schedule, just visit my Patreon. Link is in the description. And now, on with the show. When Disney Animation found itself under a new regime, the higher-ups decided to institute a Disney Shorts program, not unlike the one at Pixar. Thus, a new age of shorts was born, and the directors and artists have done a great job of continuing a tradition that started back when Walt Disney opened his famed animation studio. Whether funny, emotional, or expanding the world from one of their animated hits, these shorts serve as solid precursors to the feature that follows. So here are my favorites they produced over the past decade or so. Feast. Using Disney's recent Meander animation system, this is a cute little short about a dog with a big appetite. By depicting it from the dog's point of view and keeping it at his eye level, director Patrick Osborne allows us to follow the story from his perspective. The focus is kept equally on both the dog and his owner's new relationship, with the editing cleverly following the passage of time. The animation on the food is particularly good, along with the dog's facial expressions. My only issue is I cannot help but be worried about that pooch. He is such an eating machine. I fully expect a chocolate brownie to fall on the floor, and the results are not going to be pretty. Would I have given this short the Oscar? Not really, but there's still a decent amount to appreciate here. Tangled Ever After. I like how this short subverts expectations. You expect it to be about the wedding between Rapunzel and Flynn Rider, and it instead becomes a hilarious chase through the streets with Maximus and Pascal. The animation on the two is excellent, and they fill the short with multiple sight gags. The callbacks to Tangled are cute, but not completely winking to the camera, and I love how it gets wackier and wackier as it goes along. Despite all the chaos, the chase for the ring remains coherent and allows the humor to shine. The alternate scenario that occurs in Maximus and Pascal's head is the highlight for me, though. It's just a great reminder of how hilariously animated that horse is. Olaf's Frozen Adventure. Ah yes, this controversial short, or not so short, as people have been apt to call it. While I understand the frustration of having to sit through a 20-minute holiday special before getting to Coco, I immediately viewed it as an extra treat and a callback to when these sorts of packages were common at the movies. Honestly, as somebody who has not experienced Frozen fatigue yet, I found this to be a sweet and charming little musical adventure. The songs were nicely written, and I like the short's theme about how everyone has their own holiday traditions. There's some impressive set pieces here, and in addition to Olaf's hijinks, Kristoff's complete incompetence at charades got a big laugh out of me. They even tie this nicely to Frozen and expand on Anna and Elsa's relationship when they were separated. Whether in front of Coco or not, I still found a good amount to enjoy here. How to hook up your home theater. The first short created under the new Disney Animated Shorts program, this does a superb job of capturing the classic how-to Goofy cartoons. I've always been fond of those, and this more than manages to follow in Jack Kinney's legendary footsteps. The animation, primarily by some of Disney's top hand-drawn animators like Mark Henn and Andreas Deja, really does feel like they've dug this out from the 1950s. The relatable elements that made the how-to short such treasures is retained here, with Goofy struggling to set up his new television and stereo system. The physical comedy is on point, as is the social commentary. I kind of wish they made more of these, but it was certainly nice to see Goofy again, regardless. Frozen Fever. The other Frozen short, this one a less lengthy film, attached to Cinderella, is pretty much devoted to a single song by Robert and Kristen Lopez. It's a memorable tune that fits right into the Frozen universe. This concept of Elsa having the common cold leads some clever hijinks, while also showing more of the bond between the Arendelle sisters. This short primarily serves as a check-in to see what Anna, Elsa, Olaf, and the other Frozen characters are up to, and I was happy to see them again. The animation on Elsa and Idina Menzel's voice work deserve to be commended, as she gets more hilariously drowsy as the short plays on. And yes, those tiny little snowmen are adorable. And available at a Disney store near you, I assume. While some folks may be tired of the Frozen phenomenon at this point, I do think the Disney team has done a decent job of creating new additions to the franchise before the sequel opens next year. Get a Horse. Mickey Mouse's first theatrical short since Runaway Brain Almost 2 decades prior, this had the fortune of being attached to screenings of Frozen, and served as a wonderful return for the character to the big screen. Serving as an homage to early Mickey shorts like Steamboat Willie and Plain Crazy, this succeeded as a celebration while also bringing our favorite mouse into the 21st century. A seamless blend of hand-drawn animation, courtesy of Eric Goldberg, and computer animation was brilliantly handled, and fit thematically with the story Get a Horse was telling. It showed that even with the advances of technology, the classics still have a place in our hearts. The decision to utilize archival recordings of Walt Disney as Mickey and Billy Bletcher as Pete worked marvelously. This was a triumph from Simpsons and Avatar: The Last Airbender director and artist Lauren McMullen, and why I look forward to whatever her next project might be. Tick Tock Tale. This short was supposed to be attached to showings of Tangled, and yet for some reason Disney elected not to. That's a shame, because this is a beautiful short with director Dean Wellens and the Disney animators doing a wonderful job of giving life and personality to a clock. There's almost a Pinocchio feel to how Wellens and the artist make each clock in the shop have their own unique identity. And we also see the need from that broken clock to help out the shopkeeper. By the end, I actually found myself emotionally attached to the little thing. Why Disney felt the need to not give this a theatrical showing, I have no idea, because I do think audiences would have had a similar emotional reaction to this one that I had. Inner Workings. This is an example of the freedom afforded to artists on these Disney shorts, as Leo Matsuda went full-on creative, not just depicting the inner organs and brain of his main protagonist, but the people in setting too. That wonderfully unrestricted animation adds a further element of humor to the short. However, there's also a strong theme about taking chances and not conforming to what society always warns you about. There is some hilarity gained from Paul's inner thoughts and also the workplace environment. Most people might compare this to Inside Out and another Disney short, Reason and Emotion, but I think the depiction of our relationship to our own thoughts is done uniquely enough to stand out. Definitely one of the most delightful shorts in this countdown. The Ballad of Nessie. A wonderful addition to Disney's recent Winnie the Pooh movie, I still have a distinct memory of seeing and loving the short in a sadly empty screening. The concept of the Loch Ness Monster is one I have a genuine fondness towards, and Stevie Verma-Skelton and Kevin Dieters did a lovely job of bringing a storybook-like look to the short. The entire short really is like a golden book come to life, and Billy Connolly's narration adds to that warm fuzziness. There's a sympathy towards Nessie, and I love the connection she has with her rubber duck, fittingly named McQuack. There's a real love for Scotland in this short, what with all the tartan. There's even a nice nod to a former Disney animator if you listen carefully. This is one of those shorts I occasionally find myself recommending on Twitter, because it really is very sweet, and I know how underseen Winnie the Pooh was in its theatrical release. But before I reveal my number one, I want to give an honorable mention. I don't often include one on these lists, but I was debating whether this short should be counted or not, since it was made by Walt Disney Animation Studios, albeit for television. This was even a reverse Olaf's Frozen Adventure situation, as it was intended as a short attached to The Princess and the Frog, and then it morphed into a 20-minute holiday special, thus shifting to premiere on ABC. I'm referring to Prep and Landing. This is one of those holiday specials I think deserves to sit alongside How the Grinch Stole Christmas and A Charlie Brown Christmas. Yes, I think it's that much of a classic. Focusing on Santa's elves, Verma-Skelton and Dieters managed to bring a new angle to the tried-and-true depiction of the North Pole, and there are so many great details in how everything is portrayed. The prep and landing missions are portrayed with the right flair, and the story choice of Wayne growing bitter about the Christmas season and being on the job for so long allows it to take a fresh approach. There's a lot of growing and character development from both Wayne and Lanny, and nothing feels left out through the course of its 22 minutes. I also want to mention the voice acting, which is superb, especially Sarah Chalk as the elf's coordinator. Just thought Prep and Landing deserved a mention, as even during the holidays, I don't see it mentioned a whole lot. And now my number one favorite modern Disney animated short is Paperman. The combination of this short and Wreck-It Ralph made for an excellent night out. Using Meander to create a hand-drawn appearance in beautiful black and white, this made for a beautiful love story that takes full advantage of this new animation technique. The two human leads, George and Meg, are charming and likable, although the real stars are the paper airplanes. A lot of humor is gained from their actions and George's frequent attempts to throw one towards Meg. However, there's a lot of heart director John Cars brings to the short, along with Christoph Beck's lovely score. Whenever I sit down to watch Wreck-It Ralph, I always make sure to watch this short along with it. This was a well-deserved Oscar for Disney, and I still hold out hope they might make a full-length feature with this technique in the future. Now tell me, which modern Disney animated short is your favorite, and I'll see you next time.